because although my butt's big, this floor is also hard. Okay, so like I said, all right, so I'm just gonna, people always ask, like, how do you get started? You just get started, right? And you just literally start picking things up. So part of the reason why this area has started to get out of whack is because I don't live by myself, okay? And at the end of last year, my husband decided he wanted to start playing around with infusing tequila. And he did. So, of course, he went to good old dollar store, right? And bought these containers. Great, wonderful, right? Because literally it doesn't cost that much. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust this time lapse and it's an epic fail. So it doesn't cost that much. So he bought 1, 2, well, this big one might have been one that I already had. He bought 1, 2, 3. He bought 3 of these, right? He did the infusion sitch once. And now I have 3 big canning jars or whatever you could put, preserve jars, whatever, just sitting there. And it's down there and it doesn't need to be. I have this small one. I used to have salt in it. Okay. Those don't need to be down there. This vase, I had stuff in it. I already, like I said earlier, I'm going to utilize the area, the cabinet above my refrigerator for vases. And depending on how much room or how many vases I decide to keep, I may end up putting these up there as well. Okay, so this is a decanter that is for wine, but I never use it for wine. But one of my business friends did a post, and she was showing how you're really supposed to use it to where like it aerates it. So I'm going to clean this out and then I'm going to put this by my bar. Okay, so that doesn't need to be in there because I'll be honest, I almost started using it for a vase for flowers. Okay,
we do have,
this vase is going bye-bye. This is like a standard cheapy vase, and I think this is this vase had flowers that my mom gave me at my event. I don't need that. Okay. This is a gorgeous vase that I've had for decades, but it really doesn't hold a lot. This might be on the chopping block, just depending on how many vases I have at the end. But I'm gonna put this by the vases. But as you can see, all of the things that were over in this corner don't belong there. And they were like cluttering up the bottom of the area, right? This I bought from, I think, IKEA or one of the dollar stores. And I used to put my bubble bath in here. And I still may do that. So I'm going to put that with the other jars that my husband used to infuse tequila. Okay. So the original, okay. These are obviously forks that we go through a lot. This is almost empty. The area, the drawer where I actually keep those that we pull from every day is over there. So I'm going to empty this out and put it over there. This box doesn't need to be in there. Now, could my husband and 19-year-old son have done that while I was traveling? Of course they could have. Did they? No. There literally are no forks over there, but there's a whole set of forks that can just be transferred. Did they do it? They did not. Okay. See, you're not the only one, people. You're not the only one, right? Okay. Red cups. generally red cups that we're not using, and normally I keep a stash up there to pull from, go into these bins, right? But if there's things around it and they're full of other things, then you can't put the red cups that you're not using, your back stock, your overstock, in there. Okay, so that's where the problem comes in. Okay, so who stuffed these bags over in this here corner over here? I don't know, but they don't belong there. So I gotta do something with that. Down here is so filthy. This needs to go into, actually this goes here because my husband goes in and out of deciding whether or not he's gonna take a lunch. Okay.
Tanisha, you may have already answered this, but why were you starting from the bottom?
I decided to start from the bottom because that generally is where I store like overstock items, and I could tell it was full of items that don't belong in there and that easily could be pulled out and put where they needed to go. So that's why I started down there. Like this goes to I can't even think of the thing. You know where you make smoothies and stuff?
Blender of some sort.
Yeah, like this goes, why is it down here? Why come? Why come is it down here, right? So this has to get moved. At some point I stuck my gardening stuff, my plant stuff, why I did that, but at this point it needs to move. This is a lunch bag that I will use on a regular basis, so I will put that next to my husband's. Okay, so nice, perfect. This is a vase that's gonna go with the vases on top of the refrigerator. I'm gonna deal with what's in here. This is another vase that I don't know how it got in the back, but I like it and I ended up losing it. I also need to sweep. This is something that my husband must have bought and purchased. It's to make popsicles. It definitely isn't going to get used all the way the hell back there. So I need to find a place for that. And that's what happens, right? You don't have a place for something, so it just gets stuffed places. And then that is the beginning of the end, okay? Loose plates that have just been loose and exposed to dust. So who's doing that? Nobody's cleaning disposable plates to use. At some point, there was a baby cat. I feel like it was during the pandemic. That was like in our backyard. Why do I still have it? But it's all the way in the back. Gets lost. And that's that. Also, doggy things for my dog nephew. This is probably way old. Would y'all like to know the date on when it expired? It was literally all the way in the back. It's easy off. That can go into the laundry room. Okay, so everything down there has been addressed, and and literally the only thing that was down at the bottom outside of what was in these bins that needed to be down there was, I mean, at some point I did have my vases down there, so that was fine, but I'm switching it. Do not be afraid to pivot. And like these red cups and stuff, like everything else really did not belong.